Okay, picture this. You're walking down a street, let's say in Mumbai or maybe Delhi,
Hmm.
and you see a brand new car, a luxury car, absolutely perfect. It just screams success.
Right. Gleaming.
Exactly. But then you look a little closer at the front bumper
Hmm.
and you see a lemon and 7 green chilies
Just dangling there.
just dangling from a simple black string. Now, to an outsider, it looks like someone, I don't know, forgot their groceries.
Yeah, completely out of place.
But for the owner, that little arrangement is more powerful than any high-tech security system. It's not there to stop theft. It's there to stop a look,
The look of jealousy, the evil eye.
the evil eye.
And that look, that potent power of envy. In South Asia, they call it nazar. But you're right, this is a global thing. In Greece, it's the mati.
Mal de ojo in Latin cultures.
Exactly. It's this deep, universal belief that a glare of envy can actually cause real harm. Spoil your milk, crack a stone.
Or cause a breakdown in your brand new car. So, okay, let's get into this. Why are we as humans so deeply afraid of being seen, of being successful, and then envied?
And what does it say about us that we turn to, fruit or little glass beads when logic just isn't enough to calm that fear?
That is exactly what this deep dive is all about.
We're going to try and decode these rituals. Some of them seem strange, some are really elaborate, but they're all so deeply human.
And by looking at them, what do we find?
We find what they reveal about our shared, very basic fear of losing what we love.
Okay, let's start where we began. With the Nimbu Mirchi, the lemon and 7 chilies. It's such a visual, specific way to guard your prosperity.
It's an ingenious ritual, and it's rooted in mythology. You hang it outside your car, your shop, your front door.
As a kind of first line of defense.
Exactly. It's there to satisfy Lakshmi, the goddess of misfortune. The belief is that she just loves sour and spicy things.
Okay, so she shows up.
She shows up, she sees the offering, she consumes the lemon and chilies right there on the doorstep.
And she's satisfied.
She's satisfied, and she leaves, without ever coming inside.
So you're basically distracting the goddess of doom with an appetizer.
It's a very tactical kind of psychological defense, yes.
And this isn't just in India, this idea of deflecting a malicious gaze. It's everywhere.
It really is. You go to the Mediterranean, Greece, or Turkey, and you see the mati, or the nazar bankugu,
The blue eye bead.
the famous blue glass eye. The whole idea is that the eye shape literally bounces the glare back at the person who's feeling envious.
It's a mirror.
A mirror for bad intentions.
And what about the Hamsa hand? That's even older, right?
Much older, found all across the Middle East. The hamsa just means 5, and it's this palm-shaped amulet for protection.
And the details matter, I assume.
Oh, absolutely. The 5 fingers can symbolize different things. Whether the hand faces up or down changes its meaning. But what's so fascinating is that it crosses religious lines. It's a huge symbol in both Jewish and Muslim traditions.
Which just shows that this anxiety, this fear of envy, it runs deeper than any single religion.
It completely transcends it.
Okay, but here's the thought. If you're successful enough to need a Nazar charm, doesn't hanging it up just draw more attention to the fact that you have something worth protecting?
That's the contradiction, isn't it?
It seems like a catch-22.
It is, but it speaks to this deep psychological need. The fear is rooted in this idea that success isn't stable.
But if things are too good,
Something bad has to happen to balance it all out. So these rituals, they aren't just superstition. They are, I think, essential anxiety management tools. You perform the ritual, and you feel like you've regained some small measure of control.
okay, that makes a lot of sense. So from the anxiety of gaining something,
Yeah.
let's shift to the trauma of losing something.
Or someone.
Specifically, separation. We tend to think of weddings as purely happy events, but so many cultures really lean into the grief of it all.
And acknowledging that grief is so important, look at the Vidai ceremony in India and South Asia. This is when the bride actually leaves her parents' house.
She's expected to be crying, right?
Crying is part of it, showing her sorrow. But she also performs this very specific action. She throws handfuls of rice backward over her head as she walks away.
And rice is a symbol of prosperity.
Yeah.
So isn't she throwing prosperity away? That seems risky.
And that's the symbolic power of it, that rice represents all the wealth, the food, the resources she consumed while growing up. The debt, if you will.
So by throwing it back.
She's symbolically repaying that debt. She's pushing the prosperity back into the house to make sure her parents' home stays abundant even after she's gone.
It's validating their sacrifice.
It is.
Wow. Now let's compare that very quiet, symbolic ritual to something like the crying marriage of the two Jia people in China.
Right. This is taking that processing of loss to a public extreme. A bride is required to cry for 1 hour every day for a whole month before the wedding.
Whole month.
A month. And she's not alone. Eventually, her mother joins in, then her grandmother. It becomes this collective song of sorrow.
And what happens if you don't cry well enough?
You can be judged, seen as poorly raised or ungrateful for everything your family gave you. It's a complete inversion of the Western view.
Where if a bride cries too much, we worry she's having second thoughts or she's just going to ruin her makeup.
Exactly. Here, the crying is the point. It's the performance of love and respect. In many Eastern cultures, the daughter is formally, permanently leaving her family's lineage. These rituals help everyone process that trauma.
That is a monumental shift. And speaking of crossing difficult boundaries, let's talk about the ultimate boundary, death.
Right. How do you keep a relationship going when someone is physically gone? And the answer, almost everywhere, seems to involve sharing a meal.
The crow-feeding ritual in Hinduism during Shraddha is a perfect example.
During this period, the fortnight for the ancestors, families offer these little food balls, pinda, to crows.
Why crows specifically?
Because the belief is that ancestors actually visit the living in the form of birds, especially crows. So if a crow comes and eats the food you've left out,
It means the ancestor has accepted the offering.
the ancestor is satisfied, the relationship is maintained, you've shared a meal.
This need to share food with the departed is so vivid in Mexico's Dia de los Muertos, too.
Absolutely. The ofrenda, the altar, it's not just pictures. Families stock it with the deceased's favorite foods. Tamales, specific candies,
A shot of tequila, maybe.
a shot of tequila, and the marigolds create this path of scent and color to guide the spirits home for a visit. It's a party.
It's a celebration, not just a somber remembrance.
And then you have something far more casual, but the same idea. Pouring one out in, say, urban American culture.
Spilling a little liquor on the ground for a lost friend.
The mechanism is identical. The point isn't just to remember the dead, it's to actively share with them. Whether it's feeding a crow or spilling some beer, it changes death from a final goodbye into a see you later. You keep them in the loop.
That idea of sustenance and growth,
Mm-hmm.
it brings us to another milestone. Baby teeth. What happens to the first little piece of a child that falls off?
And the stories here are just wild. In the West, we have the tooth fairy. It's clean, it's magical.
And it's a financial transaction. Tooth for cash.
Exactly. But you go to Asia, the Middle East, Greece, India, the ritual is almost always a very practical prayer for physical strength.
And it's so specific.
Highly specific. If a child loses a tooth from their lower jaw, they throw it up onto the roof.
Asking for the new tooth to grow up high and straight.
And if it's an upper tooth, they bury it, asking for the new one to grow down and take firm root in the earth.
It's almost like folk science.
It is. And in some cultures, they even ask an animal with strong teeth, like a rat or a mouse, to trade with them. Give the mouse the weak baby tooth in exchange for a strong, permanent one.
So you see this clear split. The West turns it into a fantasy, a commercial thing.
While these other cultures turn it into a grounded, practical prayer for good health.
Okay, for our last theme, let's look at how these rituals define community, especially our relationship with strangers. This is where you see some really sharp cultural divides.
We're talking about hospitality and the
Wow.
incredible lengths some cultures go to for a guest. We have to talk about tariff.
The ritual of refusal in Iran and the Middle East. This can be so confusing for outsiders.
It can. The taxi driver who insists the ride is free. The shopkeeper who tells you an expensive item is a gift.
That's for you.
Right. It's this formal dance of politeness. The host or seller must offer it for free to show humility and generosity. But the guest or customer has to insist on paying, maybe 3 or 4 times.
Show respect for that generosity.
Exactly. Both people know money is going to change hands, but the ritual has to be performed to maintain the social contract.
And then you have India's concept of Atithi Devo Bhava,
The guest is God.
a much more direct approach.
Very. The cultural rule is that any guest, even one who shows up totally unannounced, must be treated like a deity. That means you feed them a full meal immediately.
Even if the family has very little themselves.
It doesn't matter. The honor of hosting is more important than the family's own convenience or resources.
Okay, now for the really sharp contrast, the one that went viral a few years back, Swedengate.
Yes. This whole debate exploded from stories about kids in Scandinavia or parts of Northern Europe playing at a friend's house.
And when dinner time came,
They were asked to wait in the friend's bedroom while the host family ate dinner by themselves.
Wow. That is a world away from the guest is God.
A completely different universe. Now, the defense often involves, rigid family schedules, the value placed on private family time.
But the contrast is what's so revealing.
It's powerful because it forces you to ask, what is the fundamental definition of community? And you can see it through food. Is food a private resource for the nuclear family only?
Which points to individualism.
Or is food a communal resource to be shared with anyone under your roof, which points to collectivism? The rules of hospitality, or the lack thereof, they define everything.
So this has been, wow.
Mhm.
Whether it's dealing with the fear of envy with a lemon and some chilies, or processing loss by throwing rice, these rituals are these incredibly beautiful, complex systems.
Systems for managing universal human anxieties.
And for figuring out our place in the world.
That's the core of it. We are just hardwired for both anxiety and connection. And these rituals are what we've built to bridge that gap between what we're afraid of and what we love.
A fantastic summary.
So the final thought we want to leave you with, based on this idea of Nazar and managing anxiety, is this. What's the mundane little thing that you do?
Your own personal ritual.
Your knock on wood, the lucky shirt you always wear for a big meeting, that quick silent thought you have right before you hit send on an important email. What is your own version of Nimbu Mirchi? The thing you do, maybe unconsciously, to protect what you cherish most.
Explore that. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.